I screwed this up. It happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. What can you do? What can you do? Okay, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make this all work. I'm back again. I wasn't planning on doing another show. I wasn't planning on it. I really wasn't. But I had something that I thought was great, and I really enjoy doing the quick and fast shows, the quick and easy ones. Those are the best. And so I have a quick and Jesus Christ. I jumped the gun, you guys. I jumped the gun. Sometimes I jump the gun. What can I say? It's all right. We're fixing it right now. Everything's going to be A-okay. All right. I don't know why I'm talking British accent. So I have always been a big fan of the Dead Boys. I mean, both records are great, but Young, Loud, and Snotty is one of the great classic punk albums. Okay. It from 1970, I think it came out in 77. Yeah, it came out in 77. And it's just one of the greats. It's also one of the great New York punk rock albums. And to me, when I think of like the harder, grittier sound of New York punk, something that's harder than say what the Ramones were even doing, I think of the Dead Boys. The Dead Boys are the sort of quintessential punk rock sound, if you will, right? And yeah, I'm really into that. I'm really into that sound. And for a long time, I really wanted to listen to the Dead Boys. I couldn't get a hold of them. I had read about them long before I had ever gotten to actually listen to the record. And then finally I was down on, where was I? I'm trying to remember here. I'm trying to distract. I'm trying to talk while I'm trying to do things at the same time because I kind of screwed this up a little bit. I was, where was I? I was on St. Mark's Place, and I went to a store called Sounds, and they did not have Young, Loud, and Snotty. They didn't have it. It wasn't available. Instead, what they had was something called Younger, Louder, and Snottier. And I was like, what is Younger, Louder, Snottier? Actually, let's kind of pull up what Younger, Louder, Snottier is. Yeah, here it is. So Younger, Louder, and Snottier. Does it say? No, there's an origin. It's like a mix down tape. I'm screwing this up. Maybe we should save this for another day. Maybe we should say on this incarnation of the LP, the overarching effect is less bassy. Cheetah Chrome's guitar wails are a tad more prominent, and the background vocals are more discernible. That's roughly, sorry, I couldn't resist the extent of the discrepancies, but it's just grittier. It's grittier. To this day, I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around the term rough mix. Does this translate into quote unquote unmixed or casually mixed? Or even carelessly mixed? All I know is that the pre-album mixes or lack thereof can sound palatably different from the first product we pluck off its shelves. And this is from a blog. Wow, I'm like flying off the rails as I do this show, which I so rarely. This is from Willfully Obscure from November 17th, 2018. And this is the copy that I have from Bomp from 1997, although it doesn't. They're making Manginas. Let me see if I can find the Mangina cover, because that's the real Younger, Louder, Snottier cover that I had. And I was like, oh my God, these guys are making Manginas on the cover. And you know what's funny? I never thought, I've had Cheetah Chrome has been on the show. You should check out the Cheetah Chrome interview. I never thought to ask him about the Mangina situation. Here from Barnes & Noble. You can get it from Barnes & Noble, kids, the Mangina version. Let's see. Is it going to show us the Mangina? Come on. Oh, how convenient that the link is broken. That's bullshit. Here. You got to see this. All right, here it is. Here, look at this. So here for you, this is from the Bandcamp. And there it is. That's the great, wonderful Mangina cover. Yo, more balls than the original. I could not agree more. So these are all the Dead Boys here. That's Jeff Magnum, who's the subject of our discussion. That's Johnny Zero. That's Johnny Blitz, Jimmy Zero, Cheetah Chrome, and of course Stiv Bators. And these guys are making some Manginas. Manginas are a wonderful thing that I feel like have become very archaic. We don't see a lot of public manginas anymore. I don't know if we ever saw any public manginas, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. And I'm a big fan of this record. So this is my version that I have on CD. And when I heard these versions, I then listened to the original versions when I heard the actual Sire final mixes that went out on Sire Records. These guys were managed by Hilly Crystal of CBGB's, and their hometown, their home base was CBGB. And I got to tell you, the Sire mixes just have no balls, man. They got no balls and they got no manginas. This is the only way to listen to Younger, Louder, Snottier. I think I definitely spoke to him about this. I spoke to Cheetah about Younger, Louder, Snottier, but we didn't talk about, maybe we did talk about the manginas. Maybe I just don't remember goddamn shit, and I'm flying off the rail with this stupid friggin' doing this instead. In any case, here's a little bit more information. I sound like I've done a lot of cocaine. I promise you I haven't done a single line of cocaine. I don't do cocaine. Young, Loud, and Snotty isn't one of my Desert Island picks, but it did make an impact. It's even more rollicking in times than Nevermind the Bollocks, not to mention less calculated. The Dead Boys follow-up, We've Come for Your Children, is nearly as potent. It's not as good as Young, Loud, and Snot, Younger, Louder, Snottier. The Dead Boy, funny that. Anyway, the Boys found a replacement fill-in for Stiv Bators a few years ago, right? Yeah, that's the updated Cheetah Chrome's Dead Boys, but we're not talking about that here. We're talking about the original Dead Boys. So the Dead Boys came from Ohio. They're transplants. They came to New York City to make their bones. They were inspired to do so by the Ramones. Now, originally, they were a band called Frankenstein, and some of those songs from the Frankenstein era eventually would wind up on the Dead Boys record. The songs were written by Cheetah Chrome, Stiv Bators, and Jimmy Zero. Jimmy Zero is the rhythm guitar player, and Cheetah Chrome is the lead guitar player. And between the two of them, they made it work because they made it work rhythmically, because when they first came to New York for the first 6 months, they didn't have Jeff Magnum. Even though Jeff Magnum is the original founding bassist or whatever, he's part of the original lineup, he did not come out there. There's a variety of reasons as to why. I'm sure Jeff Magnum, and if Jeff Magnum ever wants to come on here and clarify and talk about that, I am more than willing to have him on. I don't know what his reasoning is. I've heard from Cheetah Chrome and others that Jeff Magnum just didn't believe in the band, or that allegedly something along the lines of like, you know, he just didn't want to come out there. And then when they started to really make a name for themselves in New York City, Jeff finally came out. But by that time, they had already recorded, I think they had already recorded Younger, Louder, Snottier, Young, Loud, and Snotty, because what most people don't realize is that even though Jeff Magnum plays bass on all those, you know, tracks live, he is not the actual studio bass player for Young, Loud, and Snotty. It's a guy named Bob Clearmountain. He was the engineer at the time. He's the guy who ended up playing bass on all those songs. It's not Jeff Magnum. Jeff Magnum only plays bass. He plays bass on all the live reunion records they did. He also plays bass on We Have Come for Your Children, which again is that follow-up, which I just don't think is as good, but you know, it's still that's a thing. So the reason why I've called this session is because I found a video very recently that I had not seen in a long time. I'm a big fan. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Younger, Louder, Snottier. We could sit and talk about this, and I know that there's a lot of animosity between Jeff Magnum and the other Dead Boys and stuff, and I don't know all the ins and outs and particulars. I do know that there definitely was there's no love lost between them. Suffice to say, I think it stems partially, this is speculation, I think maybe it stems a little bit from the resentment of the fact, or one of the things is that like Jeff never came to New York with them, you know, so they, for their first 6 months as a band, they had John DeSalva, who I interviewed many years ago, used to work at Bleecker Bob's. John DeSalva was the bass player for another lesser-known punk band from New York called the Tough Darts. You might have heard of them. So John not only played bass for the Tough Darts, but he also played bass for the Dead Boys. And he did that, like I said, for about 6-ish months. And then Jeff Magnum came out. But by then, I guess they had already recorded the record, or he didn't come out until they had a record deal. I don't fucking know. I don't know why John DeSalva didn't play bass. They had Bob Clearmountain was the guy who ended up playing the bass. And his bass playing is great, but that's not to say that Jeff Magnum is an incredible bass player. He really is. And his bass playing on one song in particular always just has me floored. It blows my hair back. He did some playthrough videos a long time ago, and I lost track of where these videos were, and I just found them again. And particularly the I Won't Look Back one, which is from We've Come For Your Children. And his playing on this is unfucking believable, dude. He's just, I don't even know how to describe it. Again, it kills me that I don't have better descriptive language for the technical side of musical ability, music playing. Like, I could talk about music all day long, but to be able to talk about like the technical aspects of like, oh, he's doing this on this, and I'm at a loss for words. And that's where a guy like Ace Von Johnson is the best, because he knows his stuff, he knows his inside baseball, and he knows how to make it all gel and groove and click and whatnot, and discussing these things. But before we discuss this incredible bass playing from Jeff Magnum, I just want to take a brief moment to talk about RIOT stickers, the Frumess of the sponsor, the sponsor of the Frumess channel. Link down in the description. You get 1,000 stickers that say whatever you want for $79. So if you want a sticker that says, I love Jeff Magnum's bass playing, you can get that done at riotstickers.com/Frumess, Frumess. Link is down in the description. Okay, these stickers are 3 inches by 3 inches. They're printed on vinyl. They're waterproof. They're weatherproof. They have a UV coating that protects them from the sun. Free shipping and handling. $79. 1,000 stickers. You can't go wrong. riotstickers.com/Frumess, Frumess. Link down in the description. You got something you need printed up? Get it done.
Riot stickers, we are the bomb. Riot stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com.
All right. Okay. Riotstickers.com. We are the bomb. Okay. So let's listen to this. This is Jeff Magnum playing I Won't Look Back. And it really does show you that, you look, again, no disrespect to Cheetah. I would tell him this to his face. And I had him on my show. I could text it to him right now if I wanted to. I think that he kind of, I feel like he minimized a little bit of the special spice that was Jeff Magnum and the Dead Boys. And, you know, look, he says, I know what he said. He said that him and Jimmy Zero, we carried the rhythm and we did just fine without Jeff. And I feel like, again, that extends from like, hey, motherfucker, why didn't you come with us when we came to New York? At least that's what it seems like to me. But what the fuck do I know? We're talking about stuff that happened 40 years ago. So this is Jeff Magnum. Here, let's get this up on the screen. Here it is. Okay, this is a playthrough video courtesy of Jeff Magnum. He's playing along to the song. Look at his bass playing. Look at his bass playing. I have watched this video so many times. I can't tell you, probably 100 times I've watched this. Just watching his style, the way that he strums it kind of like a guitar, the way that he pauses, it floors me. And maybe he's not doing anything special, okay? But I've seen other bass players. Some bass players, they just go boom, 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 boom. They're just plucking stuff. They're going bump, 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 bump. Look at what he does, man. He's smoking with his with Jack Cassidy bass. Ready?
that's the way you do it, Kay. Hope it helps.
So I think, I don't know when that stems from. I don't know why he did those playthrough videos. I think maybe it had to do something with the other Dead Boys. It might have had to do with Cheetah or something, or not being involved with when he started back up doing the Dead Boys, Cheetah Chrome. There was something where they were like, fuck you or something. I don't know. Again, don't know the particulars. They had a whole back and forth. I could have looked that up. I didn't want to do it. That's not what this is about. This is about celebrating the incredible bass prowess of Jeff Magnum, and the fact that, like, I guess the way to describe it is he's doing this galloping strumming. Okay. Like that's what really impresses me more than anything. It's not, I mean, obviously it's, his, whatever he's fretting and fingering and whatnot is great too, but it's just his technique, because I don't know. I feel like most bass players don't do that, right? Like, yes, it is not. It is. Well, we already discussed that. It's Bob Clear Mountain and stuff. Look, Jeff was playing those songs with those guys. He just didn't record them. But although before that, again, it was John DeSalvo of the Tough Darts. So, I got a great bass face. I can't help it, man. I can't help it. That is my bass face. You just saw it. I busted out my bass face just for you on this channel. So, yeah, I want to play it one more time just to take it in. It's great. There's nothing more to say about it. I don't know how else to talk about what he's doing. If I should have called up. It should be like, hey, Ace Von Johnson. Ace Von Johnson could have helped me better with this. Shout out to Ace Von Johnson, wherever he is. I was just texting with him the other day. I just spent like an hour working on the Legs McNeil video. I have another 45 minutes to go. And then the first part will be ready, at least for Patreons and YouTubers. So I'm very excited for that. So if you're not a Patreon member or a YouTube member, you better sign up, because the early premiere for the Legs McNeil interview is going to be happening on the Frumess channel. It's going to be great. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Let's watch this one more. Let's just watch it one more time, because it's so fucking good. And then we'll be out of here. It was a quick one, quick and one and done, quick as a dick. Quick as a dick. Ready. All that gallop, man. The gallop. In the pause. That adds so much. Great song. That's the way you do it, Kay. Hope it helps. I mean, it's great, man. that is just, I don't know. There's something about I mean, it has to do with, it's the song, but it's also the bass part. And it always does something for me. And I just wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it for a long time. I was like, where can I find this bass video? I was, finally found it again. And, yeah, that's it. That's the end. That's the end of this show. I have another show about Sublime that I'm possibly going to be doing tomorrow. Why am I doing shows after I said I was going to stop? Well, that's easier. That's an easier question to ask than it is to answer. But suffice to say, I will stop when I'll stop. And I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going, keep grinding it. It's always when I stop this, whatever. I keep talking about this. It's no point in talking about anything. All right, that's it. That's it. I'm out. Peace. Hair grease. I know. Super weird. Super impulsive. Random video. Bye. Bye. See you later. I'll see you later.